Welcome to part 2 of the Lonely Pearla's preview of Canterbury tomorrow. I just want to share with you an email I received this morning from Jake. Jake wrote, well, he wrote a number of things, some of which I disagreed with, but, well, one of them I disagreed with. Anyway, I'll abbreviate it by saying you probably get mail from people like me all the time. However, I've found one today that I thought you may be interested in, as it has some similarities to your assessment of All Silent a couple of years ago that caused a bit of a stir. Well, Jake, that is actually 8 years ago, but it is actually pertinent to this email. He said, take note of Pakenham Race 6 number 1 emoji. It's trained by Graham Begg, who, as you know, knows how to set one up. The horse won third up last prep and has track and distance stats of 2 for 2. Both runs this prep have been in benchmark 70 races. The horse went back in both runs. Now he's dropping it back to a 64, and I anticipate that it will be racing a lot handier. So I went to my trusty Ratings to Win, and indeed Ratings to Win had emoji from the outside draw settling outside the lead. On top of this, he's put Jamie Mott on board. Mott is his money rider, and RaceNet has the combo at 43%. Mott rode the favourite for a win and a placing earlier this year, so you would have thought there was half a chance of riding it again had he wanted to. Considering the above, I thought $6 was a pretty decent price and thought I would send it through. All the best, Jake. Now that is very sound reasoning, Jake. I took note of all that. As I say, I consulted my speed map with Ratings to Win. Ratings to Win also have this horse as the leading contender in all its enumerations, and I did look at the market and considered that $6 was indeed a very fair price. This horse started $4.40. As predicted, he raced outside the lead, bounded away, and is now 3 from 3 at Pakenham on the synthetic over 1400 metres. That is very, very sound analysis. I'd encourage you all to pursue that sort of reasoning, because honestly, you've just targeted a horse there that was on song today, that was primed today, and duly won. So well done, Jake. Canterbury Race 5 is for the mares over 1100 metres, and a beaten up bunch this is. $3 Peaceful Sea, having her first run for Chris Waller in her third preparation. $4.50 Blowing Kisses, $4.80 Sangiovese, $10 Alpen Rose, $12 Rowinda, $12 Timing, $13 Hillary Step, $26 is the Ruffy Little Miss Brown. Timing looks the leader, particularly with Rachel King on board. She is third up. She ran in a 1,000-metre race at Goulburn last week, led them up on that occasion, looks set to pursue the lead here. Hillary Step, who's found a bit of form out wide, may have other ideas for her jockey Casey Adams, and so perhaps keen there. Alpen Rose certainly posies herself on speed. Sangiovese looks to position behind those, and that's your front half of the field. Look, I'd sooner lay most of these than back these. Let's start with the favourite, Peaceful Sea. She's coming off 2 runs at the Provincials. She certainly trialled stylishly for Waller. Look, her city runs were okay. She ran into Blowing Kisses on debut at Canterbury. That was her debut run, and she was okay from the back. I can see the appeal in this race. $3 seems a little tight. Sangiovese, she has left us a little flat. Every chance first up off a short spell there at Scone in a harder race. Then she went back to the 1,000 at Hawkesbury. Once again, every chance. She sets up again for every chance here, and to my eye has been a little too heavily discounted by the market, despite the fact that I wasn't looking for her here. Blowing Kisses, well, she won first up at Wyong, cleaning out a very timid field. She then went to Randwick over the 1,000 and failed to flatter, and then to Scone for the listed 3-year-old fillies race and settled worse than midfield, finished just worse than midfield. Bowman rides tomorrow. She is a winner at this course and distance, but that wasn't a particularly impressive debut win. So I don't know what to make of her, but she's obviously a chance here. Alpen Rose gets a wet track, but I keep channeling Glenn Pollitt here, going David Payne deep into her preparation. I've mentioned Hillary Step, who seems to have found a bit of her mojo out wide, and must be a factor. And the other one perhaps looks to be Rowinda, who's done very little in 2 runs back, but is quite capable at this course and distance. I'll leave it to those who are sounder judges than me. It's a race that I would prefer not to play. I've pretty much potted everything. The penultimate is 15.50, 9 runners to go, or 9 set to go round at the moment. $3.10 the favourite is Kent. $5.50 Reneged. $6.50 El Venetian, who looks the leader. $8 Balmain Boy, $8 Quick Defence. $13 down the bottom Earth, 15 Master Agar, 17 Pirate Ben, and 26 the Ruffy Letchworth. El Venetian looks the designated leader, particularly with R King on board. I'd suggest that Pirate Ben won't be far away. Quick Defence gets on speed. Master Agar won't give his draw away. And there's your first few. The favourite here, Kent. He is a winner at this course and distance as a 2-year-old. He then was very, very heavily backed at this course and distance when J Mac rode him second up last preparation, and was a little hollow. His first up run was okay in a 1,300 metre race at Warwick Farm. Then he went to a 1,400 at Hawkesbury Class 1, mowed them down from the back off a fast pace. Seemed well suited last time. I can't see that he gets any great favours in the run here. He is third up, he is a 3-year-old, but given that he loses Abdullah and goes to Adkins, I'm thinking $3.10 is no cop. The second pick in the race, Reneged, has form around Kent. He resumed in the 1,300 first up at Warwick Farm as well. He was adequate again 1,600 last time. Looks a 7-to-1 chance to me. El Venetian, he's pretty much had every chance every start this preparation. He will put himself in the race, just lead here. He's back from a Saturday race that I discussed earlier in relation to Walk the Streets. He's there. Let's talk about Balmain Boy, who's been unsuited in 2 runs back at 1,200. More importantly, he's had the 1,200 metre barrier trial since, where he raced on the speed. He's got T. Clark on board. He has form at Canterbury. He ended up in several Saturday races over this distance last preparation. Looks set to improve sharply, markedly here. Quick Defence, a winner at this course and distance in very soft ground 12 months ago. He's struggled lately. His resuming run was adequate. Bowman rides, okay. His stablemate Earth, who's a 3-year-old, has not set the world on fire since being gelded 3 runs back. Last time at Kembla, 11 days ago, sorry, he got back in a slowly run race. McAvoy takes over here from a soft draw, some claims. Master Agar has had 2 runs back from a long spell and worked hard on a fast pace the other day in a Saturday race, a low Saturday race, but nevertheless, he can do something. And Pirate Ben raced in what I would call a Saturday welter last start, won by So Willie. He raced outside the lead. He's had 4 runs back from a spell. He won second up at Warwick Farm in a similar type of race and looks a contender. I'd say it's a very even race. The favourite looks too short, and any number of horses can win this race. The Nightcap, 1,200 metres, benchmark 67. $4.60 equal favourites Brule and Wernpar, both 3-year-olds. One a filly, the other a gelding. $7 is Mana with Bowman booked tomorrow. $8 No Interest, last start city winner. $11 Artistic Beauty, who's been flying out wide. $12 Better Be Good, who rode the bias at Gosford first up. $15 Bogey, who is first up. And $21 is next best Clistra, who's backing up from a run last Wednesday where she certainly ran well. She looks set to seek the lead, Clistra, given that she managed to lead Magnajoy last week. Iron George has had 2 trials to resume here and is set to be well forward, as is Mana, who's quite a hard goer. He'll be right up on the speed. Wernpar takes the next position, perhaps 4th on the fence. Wernpar is the horse I'll start with here. He raced outside the lead they went fairly hard in the 1100 first up at Hawkesbury. He had control of the race and then sort of was a bit flat late. I'm not sure what to make of that run. At first blush I liked it, then I went, well, his city reference is just fair. He's a Godolphin horse that didn't run through the line the other day. I'm guarded. I think he's got a good chance. I think he's well found. The other favourite, Brulé, she is from a stable that I don't like. She really did nothing in a Saturday three-year-old filly race the other day. In fact, her Sydney runs are particularly poor. I'm against her. No interest. Found the right lane the other day in her first run with blinkers. She finds another suitably run race here. I would prefer her drawn wider, but as I say, she's a last start city winner that's getting last crack here. Mana has obvious claims, an old horse that's had 2 runs back from a long spell, but looks primed for this. Artistic Beauty, essentially a highway horse, but racing very well out wide in strong races, and I think has claims here. And I think that rounds out the chances. I've got to give Better Be Good some Guernsey, but that's very reluctant given that he used gate 1 to win it at home first up. So that's a relatively dense nightcap with nothing particularly standing out to me. I'm keen to try Star Galaxy without suggesting she'll necessarily get into a particularly advantageous position in race 1, but like the setup, the Snowdens, the winning the trials, the K McAvoy, and we've got a potentially soft Godolphin horse and another soft Roble horse there. And in race 4, I think Fournet is a horse that is on the improve. I'll be back on Friday with Gord and Glenn. They will turn up for a Rosehill preview on that occasion. I hope you make something of Canterbury tomorrow and catch you on Friday for the Rosehill preview.